So be courageous. Pause when you need to. Be vulnerable and admit if you didn't get it right. Trust the capacity of the people around you and live by your values. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for this time. My name is Nitasha Crishna. I'm currently Deputy Principal at the United Nations International School, Hanoi, here in Vietnam, where I've just completed 6 years. Before UNIS, I was at the American School of Bombay in Mumbai, India. Before that, at 2 different schools in London, and way before that, at Vasant Valley School in New Delhi. This is what I want to share with you today. As a leader, having a clear vision, knowing what your values are as a school, and I mean really knowing and understanding them, and then holding your community, faculty, staff, students, parents, to that high standard is our job as principal leaders. I have learned that it can take courage and vulnerability to stay true to who I am, and that sometimes that involves pausing and recalibrating. Let me illustrate with a short story. Nothing tested my own resolve to hold true to our values as a school here at UNIS more than the pandemic did. In February 2020, when Vietnam went into its first 15-week phase of countrywide lockdown, much earlier than the rest of the world, our community reeled, reacting to the shock, the fear, the uncertainty of it all. As a school, we were told on a Sunday that we would not be allowed to have students on campus. And so we took the next day, the Monday, for a whole faculty PD. And 24 hours later, we launched Distance Learning 1.0 for all of our students, 3 to 18. The first few weeks were a steep uphill climb as we kept having to refine and redefine, make changes and tweaks for every one of our students. It all seemed to be ticking along though as we got into week 4 or 5, but one section of the school that was hit particularly hard was early childhood. By definition, 3, 4, and 5-year-olds learn by being together. The development of their language skills, their cognitive skills, their social and emotional capacities all happen in settings where they're given the time and space to interact, to explore, to discover. A few weeks in, our parents were clearly struggling and letting us know. The challenge of working from home and trying to homeschool their preschoolers, and often older children as well, was hitting hard. Getting feedback from our parents and listening to our teachers, as an elementary leadership team, we realized that we needed to hit pause and re-look at what we were offering as a virtual early years program. That was when I knew we needed to pull people back together, and I had to be vulnerable enough to own that there were aspects of our virtual program that had not been as well designed as they could have been, particularly for early childhood. I took responsibility for not going slower when we first started and for using this pretty much the same approach for all of elementary. We had to go back to what we had promised our parents and what we know about how young children learn. We reached out, tapped into a network of colleagues around the world to understand what other schools were doing as well, went back to the drawing board and started again. Learning, curiosity, community are among our core values at UNIS Hanoi, and acting with integrity and care is who we are. It's what we do. So over the next couple of days, we completely restructured our program. The new 2.0, if you like, version offered a detailed breakup of the day for parents and students, smaller groups on Zoom, individual check-ins and checkpoints to the day, and most importantly, regular direct support for parents and caregivers. We pulled all of our EY parents together and explained the changes and listened to how hard it had been for them. And it worked. It is still far from ideal to have young children learning online. And yet we found with the changes, our program became more authentic. We have had to go into school closures twice more this school year, and each time we further refined and clarified our offerings for early childhood, making it work as best we can for our students and their families. So this is my pearl. As a leader, ensuring that you know, live, and breathe the vision and mission of your school is paramount. Brené Brown says that vulnerability is the other side of courage. So be courageous. Pause when you need to. Be vulnerable and admit if you didn't get it right. Trust the capacity of the people around you and live by your values.